So you wanna go hard? So you wanna be the greatest? Your life is a fantasy, and it's all for the taking. Cause this time is down and I gotta get it. I'm a beast, I'm a freak when it come to winning. Eyes on the prize like it's television. All room, no bus, no room, your plus. So you wanna go hard?
Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. Today you're in the studio with Tim, a.k.a. the Bald Man.
Bonjour, everybody.
Oh, you French now?
Oui, très bien. Merci beaucoup.
Tim, we're talking top 10 fantasy football tight ends today.
Man, I'm looking at these guys, and I really think there's like 6 or 7 guys that have a great chance to be number one this year.
Yeah, man, anyone can slide into that top 10, especially with tight ends. I want to do a disclaimer. As you know, in many of my shows, I give you guys some fantasy football draft strategy prior to the show. Listen, I'm just going to wait on tight end. It's that easy for me. I'm going to wait on tight end. I usually draft. This is a simple strategy. I talk about it in 16-round draft session. I wait on tight end. I grab 2 tight ends later, and I cover myself. I never invest early in a tight end, Tim. I don't know if you do either.
And we always talk about when I'm looking at a tight end, if I can get a 10-point average per week, I'm fairly happy. So, yeah. And last year, the 10th placed tight end had like 9.6 or something.
Yeah,
so
man.
that's like right on target.
Yeah, man. If you look at last year's top finishers at the tight end position, it's Travis Kelsey, and I think he's finished, 3 years in a row on top.
Yeah.
That's insane. Is he going to do it again? Very possible. He's on a high-octane offense, right? Yeah. So we're going to work our way from 10 all the way to 1 with the tight end rankings. And again, I hate doing tight end. It doesn't really excite me as much as talking about running backs or wide receivers because it's not a position I heavily value. As long as I get 10 points out of my tight end every week, I'm happy. These are not my pinnacle ceiling guys. They're not my workhorse running backs. This is not my ace quarterback.
Yeah.
This is a guy that's safe and steady that gets it done.
Yeah, 10 points. And if, a top guy like a Kittle, a Kelsey, they might average 16 points a game. So we're still not talking huge amounts. I mean, I expect that out of my wide receiver too, really. So top end guys only getting you 16. It's not really worth a lot of talk.
We should do away with the tight end position completely. We should just get rid of it.
No. It's an important part, especially as the team goes. One other thing I want to hit on is I keep seeing on your social and everything, you're pushing the 16 rounds, which you need to do and people need to buy. Football is friggin' happening.
Tell them, Tim. Tell them. Explain it.
A-holes that keep on saying it's not going to happen. It's like 2.5 weeks away. What's wrong with you? I mean, I want to use the R word, but I don't think it's politically correct anymore to call people Okay. So anyways, that's what you are. Smarten up. The season's going to happen. Drafts are going to happen. Oh, but COVID could decimate. You could lose guys to it. So what? You lose guys to injury. I don't care. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah, I don't understand. The season will happen. Like everything else is going. What? They're just going to say, okay, we're not going to let football happen. Like you're nuts. You know, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Get off your horse. Things are happening. Things are rolling. You're going to have to draft your teams very soon.
Speaking of drafting your team, make sure you guys head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. I've also linked it below. fantasyfootballcounselor.com, thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get the 16-round draft solution, guys. Sleepers, breakouts, first ever and only video training. I give you all the optimal players to draft in each round, linked below. Make sure you guys grab it. I'm handing you guys as close to a win as possible. There's nothing bulletproof in fantasy. Like I say, this is as close as you can to make sure you guys have an optimal roster. Get it below or thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. All right, what were you going to say?
One other thing.
What is that?
I have one other thing, Joe.
What's that?
Last night, man. Fan to Fan Network. Something big went down.
That was huge, guys. If you didn't tune in, make sure you guys are following my Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. And, of course, follow Fan to Fan Network. That's Fan Network. Fan to Fan Network or at FTFN on Twitch. It was a great production. We had Chris Johnson on the show.
Yep.
We had all of the top ambassadors from every NFL team, all the top YouTubers in one spot, minus a couple teams. The guys couldn't make it. But listen, this was exciting. We streamed on Twitch. We had everybody on from every team asking, what the record's going to be, any inside information for training camp. Everything in one spot at Fan to Fan Network. What did you think of that?
I thought it was great. I thought Chris Johnson was on for like 15, 20 minutes, I believe, and just talking candidly about some stuff. You asked him some questions like who does he think the best running back is? who gave him the hardest hit. I mean, he got hit so hard, he had a hard time remembering the guy's name, but eventually it all came in. It was good, man. I liked it. Just a laid-back atmosphere. That's what it's about.
I put him on the spot. I literally said, like, who is the best running back in the game? He ended up saying Zeke and justified his reasoning. Then we had Big Cat from Carolina come on and say, how could you say that? Christian McCaffrey's the best running back. And then
White Lightning.
Yeah, White Lightning. And then people came in and in the comments, sticking up for CMC. And again, it goes with consistency. And Zeke has been one of the most consistent running backs in the game. So I definitely see Chris Johnson's point.
I see CMC being
really.
Right.
We're gonna have to see this year. One hit wonder. No, he's had a couple good years, so I can't really say that. All right, Tim. So 16-round draft solution. Let's get to this. Make sure you guys grab that link below. So we're gonna work our way back from 10 all the way to 1. So the first guy I got on my list here that's gonna crack the top 10, potentially crack it, is Gesicki. What do you think of Mike Gesicki?
Check mark. He's my 10 as well.
Is he? We didn't even plan that.
I'm not thrilled with his reception ratio. He's got to fix that. If he fixes that, 10 is no problem. I think he was down at, 56, something like that. Almost 10 points lower than most of your top 10 guys when it comes to that reception ratio.
57.3.
Yeah, that's not good, man. You got to be in that mid to high 60s at least. Some of these guys even hit close to 80.
I mean, Kelsey, Kittle's at 79.4 percentage receiving. I mean, you got Gesicki, who's a little bit lower. That can come up, but I mean, it's all about quarterback. How accurate is the quarterback throwing to him? He's got Wild West Fitzpatrick, right?
Yeah.
Fitzmagic. So Gesicki finished 12th last year. I like the ceiling. I think he's going to be a pretty decent tight end when you look at PPR. I think he's going to get some volume, man. I know they've got Williams there, they've got Parker, they've got other options. I mean, someone's got to catch the ball at tight end, and I think he's been a good outlet for Fitzmagic, or if Tua comes in, maybe a good outlet for him. I like it here. 89 receptions, or 89 targets on 51 receptions, not bad. 5 touchdowns, so he's targeted in the red zone. And again, when you're looking at tight end and you're looking at value, you get this guy super late. He's coming off the board after like 9th, 10th round. He's coming off super late. I mean, this guy, you can get him late for value as your tight end too for upside, right?
Yeah.
And he can finish top 10. So so we locked that down. Number 9, it's not going to be as long as an episode as running back. Because again, tight ends, the secret is simple. Get 2 tight ends later, stack them. One of them is going to break out potentially. Do not invest in a tight end early. We'll talk about that as we get to the top tight ends and how much of a draft capital you're going to have to invest in them if you grab them, which I'm not willing to do. Number 9, I'm going with Hawkinson. What do you got at number 9?
I got Hunter Henry.
Really, eh? You
Hawk
trust
is
him?
just still too much of an unknown to me. He didn't thrill me last year. I don't believe in any of those rookies from last year.
Well, I mean, he was a rookie coming in. We got Stafford healthy. The nice thing about with Stafford there is that Hawkinson was doing pretty well in the first 4 games. He had a couple touchdowns, 2 touchdowns in the first 4 games here I'm seeing. The first game, he had a good game, 6 receptions, 9 targets, 131 yards, and a touchdown again with Stafford there. The 2 games after that didn't do much. So week 1 and week 4 were good. Other than that, it's very hard to trust. I know he's very inconsistent and volatile, but the Lions invested huge draft capital in him when they drafted him. They believe in him. He's young. I know he was a little banged up, but I think he's going to be okay going into the season. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the upside is there. I'm going to bank on that as a guy that you get late. Again, combo him. If you get him, make sure you combo him with like a Gesicki or someone else. And then at the end of the day, man, this guy could break out. And again, you're not investing a lot of draft capital. You're getting him for pretty much free later.
Right. And so, like I said, Hunter Henry, I mean, you've got the change of quarterback there, which is a little bit of a concern. But in some ways, maybe a new quarterback relies more on a tight end. Tight ends typically have very good hands. They take those short passes, and they're big dudes, so they can make things happen. So that's what I say. Like, he could rely on Henry. Henry has always had a great reception ratio. As long as he can stay healthy, I think, again, he's an easy top 10.
Similar to Dalvin Cook, man, has not finished a season. 15 games in 2016, 14 in 2017, 12 last year. I don't trust him. This guy just can't stay healthy for me. I just personally do not trust him, but I definitely see the ceiling. You know, we had a couple guys on the Fan to Fan Network yesterday talking about how Tyrod, I think he was our Chargers guy. He's our lead writer. He was saying, man, Tyrod could have a high ceiling, man. Don't underestimate him. But I'm not really sold, man. I'm just not.
No, me neither. Believe it.
All right, coming in at number 8, the guy I've got here is Jared Cook. Now, what's so appealing about him is he was number 7 last year. He came alive near the end of the season, getting a lot of touchdowns down the stretch, which was kind of appealing to me. And I like seeing that. I like to see a lot of volume at the touchdowns. So after week 11, what do you have? 7 touchdowns from week 11 to 17. That's not bad. 7 touchdowns from 11 to 17, Tim.
Yeah.
So he's getting the volume near the red zone there. Going to get some work. Pretty good offense there. I don't know, man. I think I think Thomas comes down a bit. Cook goes up a little bit. I mean, I always look for variances, right? I look for what goes up must come down. I think Cook could be prime, but he's very touchdown dependent. That's the issue.
I don't know if I would say that even. I think it just took them a little while to use him. He really didn't get rolling till like week 5. Then he started getting double digits every week. So I'm high on Jared Cook. I've got him higher than you. Same sort of deal. Like I say, he has a high number of TDs. Let's keep that. More targets this year, like you said.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's what he needs. I mean, he only had 65 targets. That's definitely going to have to come up for him. That's really low. Hopefully his touchdowns stay the same. Definitely a top 10 finish. Again, with the tight end position, there could be some rookies emerging. Oh, I want to make a disclaimer. This is totally wild out there. A late tight end sleeper here is Devin Asiazzi. This guy was a tight end drafted pretty early by the Patriots. They know how to draft tight ends. If Cam Newton gets a start, he likes his tight ends. Just keep him on your radar. Devin Asiazzi, no one's talking about this guy. I just wanted to bring him up. Will he crack the top 10? Who knows, right? I doubt it. I can't put him in here right now because he's a total wild card. But just a sleeper I had to bring up here for you.
Yeah, right on, man. So my number 8 is Zach Ertz. You know, and I can't even believe I'm putting him this low.
It is pretty low.
He's a great option on a decent team. Top 5 contender, no problem, really. So putting him at 8, and I said it at the beginning of the show, there's like 6, 7 guys here that I could easily see having a chance to reach number 1. So Zach Ertz has been around for years, getting it done every year. Number 8's low.
I'm not high on him, but I can't have him that low. You know, with tight ends, I'll do a little bit of copying and pasting here. I have him a little higher. He finished 4th last year. With Zach Ertz, they don't really have a lot of receivers. They brought in Rigor there with the Eagles, but that's a primary target for Wentz. I think he's going to continue to get the volume. Last year, he had 135 targets. Even if that goes down a bit, still puts some, top 5, top 6. I think you're a little low on him. I think he's going to be a little higher up from where you got him. But hey, that's what it's all about, just having fun and,
Yep.
Trying to get the best educated guess here, because that's all it is. The hypothesis, as you say, right? Number 7 here, I'm going to go with Hayden Hurst. The offense right there. We saw Hooper do well with Ryan. Hayden Hurst has an opportunity to really shine this year. Last year didn't do well. I mean, he only had 39 targets, but he had some company there with Andrews, right?
Yeah, so just another really good player named Mark Andrews.
So he's got the opportunity now. Will he be more involved in the blocking? Will he get some more catches? Who knows? But I like the opportunity with Ryan. I understand Ridley's there and Julio, but we know Matt Ryan likes to use the tight end, and that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on that. Hooper had 97 targets, 75 receptions. So I'm banking on Hayden to get a floor of 80 targets, at least, 6 touchdowns, maybe Ridley gets involved. Someone's got to catch that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm super high on Hayden Hurst, man.
Yeah.
I think you're way too low on him.
So I got him at 7. Who do you got?
I got Mr. Mark Andrews, who we just touched on. I mean, he gets a high number of TDs, man. Low receptions for good yards, but high TDs. So if he maintains that, kind of does everything the same, I think other guys just kind of catapult in front of him this year. So number 7 for Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I mean, he was 10th, right? I mean, number 1 with 10 touchdowns, I should say. Number 1 in the touchdown category. I don't know. Is he going to duplicate that? Who knows? I mean, but the thing is, maybe Lamar likes him a lot, right? And that's the thing. That he's just going to go to him again. Maybe the ceiling is still there. I still like Mark Andrews. I think he's safe and solid at the tight end position. But again, you're investing high draft capital, which I probably won't be doing, right?
Yep.
Number 6 here, safe and secure. And this guy I feel really safe with 89 targets last year. It's only 3 touchdowns. Hopefully that goes up. Tyler Higbee, safe, boring, secure. He's in here. I think he finishes top 10, but very, very boring. Nothing to get excited about. And this is why I don't want to even maybe invest in him. I'd rather wait and get an upside guy like Kelsey and Hawkinson later.
Yeah, because Higbee didn't even make my list. Wasn't even really a thought in my head, man. My number 6, Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Only played 8 last year, but this guy is a top 3 contender. No problem.
I'm glad you brought him up, because the wide receiver core with the Giants, how do you trust these guys? Could it be Slayton? Could be Boomer Bust? He's talked about a lot, and I understand. I love the upside. Shepard, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Who is the guy there? Ingram could be a great outlet for Daniel and has that top 10 potential. Problem with him is, why I left him out of my top 10 is durability. Has not finished a season, and I have this huge bias towards people that don't finish seasons, man. I don't like it. I don't want them on my team. I want no business with them at all.
That's almost always a scenario, though, when it comes to tight ends. You see it all the time. 14 games a year, 15. Always missing 1 or 2, it seems, maybe even 3, because they get a lot of little nagging. These are big trees that fall hard. That's what I like to say about them all the time. Yes, he missed half a year last year, but, I mean, this guy is solid. So he's back. He's going to get her done.
And again, I called that with Jordan Reed, man. People, you were even
I was
high on
high
Jordan
on
Reed.
him. Yeah, a couple years ago.
But then people are going to say to me, well, Joe, Hawkinson, he got injured. He's banged up. He only played 12 games, hasn't finished the season. Yes, but he's a rookie. He's young, and I explained why. They invested high draft capital on him. Give him another chance. Now, if I see 3 years, well, like Henry and all these other guys that haven't finished the season here, they'll be, okay, yeah, now I don't want Hawkinson. He's not going to do well. So I don't like the injuries. Coming number 5, Mark Andrews. And again, I did some copying and pasting here, and I didn't do it on purpose. I just did it because I genuinely feel with the tight end position, these guys are just really good tight ends so they can finish on top again. I don't feel too much variance. Yes, there's other guys at Hurst, Gesicki maybe, Ingram maybe if he stays healthy, Hawkinson maybe that could slide in. But again, I got to go with Mr. Safe and Consistent, who he was safe and consistent last year, Mark Andrews. I can't deny his talent, the touchdowns, and being a primary target for Lamar Jackson in the red zone. I can't deny it, so I had to put him at 5.
Okay, sure. My 5 is Jared Cook, who we already touched on as well. I believe you had him at 8. I had Andrews at 7 and Cook at 5.
Yeah, we already discussed that. Let's move on to number 4. Ertz. I got him at 4, finished 4th last year. Again, talk about the copying and pasting. We talked about why I like him. Primary target for Wentz if Wentz stays healthy. Love the upside. I don't think they have a receiver that they can really trust this year. Again, Rigor could be a guy with a high ceiling. Still not sold on the receiving core there, which means Ertz gets more volume as a trusted target. Coming at number 4. And what I do like about him is the target count. He was actually number 2 in target amongst tight ends, which is very appealing, which shows to me that he's going to get some volume.
Yes.
I love that.
Ertz is my 8. We've already talked about it. And I said I can't believe I'm putting him that low. He's going to have a good year. I don't have any doubt about it. I just think other guys are going to catapult in front of him. I think other guys are going to have an even better year than he does. Same thing with my number 4, Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey,
I'm
that's
putting
low.
him low, man. He's such a talented player on a high-octane offense. Believe me, I know I'm putting him low.
You're getting ripped.
I'm just high on these other guys. That's all there is to it. I don't think Kelsey's going to have a bad year by any means. I just think the other guys are going to have that much better.
His pinnacle year was in 2018. We had 295.
That's pretty
PPR
sweet.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm averaging him around 250 this year at 255 where he finished last year. So
same here.
Number 3 here, Darren Waller, Mr. Safe, Reliable, and I'm not sold on Ruggs there in Las Vegas. I'm really not. I mean, Ruggs could be a boomer bust kind of guy, type of game in, game out, maybe a good DFS play, but year long, I see him volatile. I don't see Derek Carr making him a huge fantasy relevant player. I'm just not sold on him at all when it comes to Ruggs. So I think Waller's going to continue to get the volume.
Absolutely.
117 targets last year. Again, not bad. A primary target there for Derek Carr. I mean, his touchdowns could only go up. He had 3 touchdowns. I see that going up as well. And in regards to receiving yards, number 2, again, behind Kelsey with 1,145 receiving yards. Good right across the board. 90 receptions. Love it. His catch percentage really high as well, 76.9, which I like as well. So whatever is coming to him, this guy is catching it. So all around, just good, dynamic, primary target, volume targets, everything checked off nicely. I got him at 3. Problem yet again, is he worth a draft capital? I'm not investing an earlier draft pick on him. I'm too busy drafting ace running backs and wide receivers in the early rounds.
Yeah, I love Las Vegas, not the Raiders.
Yeah.
I love Las Vegas. So like Carr uses his tight ends, man. We saw it with Cook. We saw it with Waller last year. Always, always, always. Waller is actually my number 2. And
Right.
my number 3 is Mr. Hayden Hurst. And
Yeah,
I've
you're really
talked
high
about-
on him.
Oh, dude, he is so primed for a year. He's out of the shadow of Mark Andrews. He's on a throwing team. This guy is going to feast.
Well, we will see. We will see how much volume he gets. And again, I'm not expecting him to be the next Hooper, but who knows? He could even be better than Hooper.
I
That's
think
you're
he's
banking
better.
on the ceiling, right? All right. So number 2, George Kittle, and this guy could easily finish number 1. Problem with Kittle, again, he's on an offense that spreads the ball around. 49ers, it's very hard to trust that offense. I mean, he could have a good season, could be solid last year when you look at the target count. Not bad, 4th in targets, 5 touchdowns. Again, I think he just got paid a big contract deal, $75 million. I don't have the exact contract detail in front of me. Kittle's a guy that's going to get it done. Young, dynamic, primary receiver. With Debo being gone, could be a guy that could step up right off the bat as a safe target for Garoppolo. So he's going to see a nice influx there in numbers. But again, when Debo comes back, maybe Debo comes back, gets more volume. I heard Brandon Ayuk last night on Fan to Fan. We had the 49ers guys, nothing but Niners guys on. Said Ayuk is looking great in training camp. So when I'm looking at this guy, safe and solid. But again, am I investing a 2nd, 3rd round pick? No, I'm not.
Kittle is my number 1. But
Yeah.
I'm not investing that high pick either, but I put him at finishing number 1 this year. once again, man, that high catch percentage, 79.4, over 1,000 yards, 5 TDs, 107 targets. So the targets could come up easily. Keep the TDs where they are. Keep the reception ratio where it is. Number one.
Yeah, and the thing is, I got Kelsey at 1. And typically you say, well, Joe,
you're such a sheep.
I'm the sheepstest when it comes to tight ends. I have to. I can't deny the talent. Number 1 in targets, man. 5 touchdowns, that can go up. Number 1 in yards. 3 years in a row on top. High octane offense. Primary target for Mahomes. Yes, there's a lot of targets there, but Kelsey's the man. I mean, how do you not do it? But it doesn't matter who's in the top 5 to me because I'm not drafting any one of them. So it doesn't really matter. I can put Zach Ertz at 1. It wouldn't even matter.
My number 3, you're getting for a value. Mr. Hayden Hurst, you are a value this year. And that's the thing, though, guys. Truly, like, I honestly believe there are 7, even 8 guys that have a shot of being number 1 this year.
Do you want me to call him out on social and tell him you want to date him? You love this guy.
I love him. You're my man.
The fantasy crush on him. So, man, that's it. Again, with tight ends, man, just wait on a tight end. Get a couple late round guys. I mean, that's my strategy. It's been working. The year that everybody was growing Gronkowski round 1, I was going, I think it was 2017, was it? It was 2017. Was it 2017 or was it last
2018 probably?
It was 2018. That's what I meant. Yeah, 2018. I was drafting Kittle in the 10th round. Everybody was grabbing Gronkowski round 1. I said, stay away from Gronkowski round 1. Don't do it. Grab Kittle, and Kittle broke out. So with tight ends, man, it's just you have that opportunity to get those wild cards late that could really boom, but it's about getting the right guy, and that's what you get in the 16-round draft solution. You have the best opportunity. Get it at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. And that's pretty much it, Tim. Top 10 tight ends. I had to do it. I hate doing tight ends, but I had to do it, man.
I can honestly say I don't hate doing it. It's just my expectations are a little bit lower, but I think this is a beauty year for tight ends.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of guys that can emerge. Geno Smith could emerge. Noah Fant could emerge. There's other guys. Devin Asiazzi, Jack Doyle. There's a couple other guys.
I was looking at guys like Chris Herndon, Darren Fells. Fells has been around for a long time, but still, I was looking at other guys as well. They didn't make the cut.
Exactly.
Too many options this year.
All right, guys, make sure you guys subscribe, smash a thumbs up, leave your fantasy questions below, and go follow at Fan to Fan Network on Instagram. All the details there are at FTFN on Twitch. And there you have it, guys. Tim is back, and we got to figure out what we're doing Thursday. We're done with the rankings now. Go back and watch all the episodes, but we're going to have an interesting episode for you guys on Thursday. Thank you.
Sir.
We're out, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one, everybody.